Good evening, good morning, good night. Hello. We have been backstage reminiscing and kind of getting emotional about the fact that this is coming to an end. So it has been so much fun. 543 participants. I kind of calculated about 160 were there a day, and we were never less, even in midnights in a majority of places. We were always above 40. So thank you for showing up. We built it, and you came. We've been applauding Barry and Sean and all of the SSLA students, uh, but I have to really take my hat off to Anita and Shweta for finding Barry and giving him this opportunity, which of course has led to all of this. So thank you for giving Barry a platform and support and allow him to bring something like this into fruition. So I'm going to tackle the 4 questions. The best part of the conference, that's like Sophie's Choice, right? How can you choose a child? But I didn't see it all. I have to go back and watch it. But things that popped up in my dog walk this morning were Usha Anderson's retelling of the Garden of Eden story and the Gilgamesh story. And equally, Ken Baskin's retelling of the story of the Israelites trying to change their cultural story, trying to go from multiple gods to a single god, and how they just kept trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing. And I think there's wisdom in that ancient wisdom, and we would call that now indigenous wisdom. Those were the people who, lived for hundreds of years, thousands of years on a piece of land, and these are the stories that come down to us from them. And then I didn't hear the whole thing, but I heard Anil's story at one point. I don't even know what time it was or which session it was in, but it was about coming home to yourself, and that really struck me. And that is a core value, I think, for big historians, is to come into ourselves, our planetary selves. And for me, that's been a lot of hard psychological work of getting rid of family of origin stuff and, choices and hurtful things, bad things, sad things that have happened to me. And, paring down to that essence of, first of all, I'm not going to get too vulnerable here, but finding, how deeply okay each one of us is, and then walking in the world with that. That is, we should walk that walk as big historians. So thank you, Anil, for that. All right. So the past decade, reflections on the past decade. IBHA is 11 years old. And, we've had some ups and downs. We had a tumultuous board in the beginning, and people storming out. We were only meeting once every 2 years at that point. And we've had a lovely year, a difficult year, meeting every month. It's sad news about Macquarie. Dominican also went away. But where one door closes, a window opens. So we have Cal State is budding, and it's possible we're going to have a conference in LA in 2022. That is premature, but I'm going to put it out there to get it on your calendars. And we have a university in Toronto. You may have seen this in our newsletter where Gus has a good, strong, big history program. And then, of course, we have SSLA. So you are our jewel in the crown at the moment. So thank you for that. And so, the present is we're ramping up. And It's gotta be in fits and starts. And so using some analogies from big history, you could say that humanity's, in the belly of a super red giant getting ready to go nova and explode, um, leaving as I think it was David Christian talked about the fireflies blinking out. This experiment didn't work. That could be one possibility. Um, but nevertheless, we should walk with our heads held high that we are planetary citizens, and this was a great adventure. Um, so that's one scenario. Another is we're like those Israelites trying to to change our cultural story, and we're going to do well, and then two steps forward, one back, or whatever it is. Hopefully, it's two steps forward, one back, not one step forward, two back. But that's part of the process. So there's comfort. We have a record of people trying to change the fundamental story of their culture, and I think that's the journey we're on. And then, we people were talking, does it have to be binary? Do we have to, flourish or perish? Well, I'm reminded of the fact that, when Rome uh, exploded and into its supernova, a lot of things went underground. We went, quote unquote, into the dark ages, at least in Europe. I'm not up on my history. I think there were flourishing. I know Persian culture was flourishing at that time. But I just finished a book about all of the manuscripts, the story of the manuscripts leaving the library in Alexandria, and how these were precious, precious things that were bought and sold. They were the hottest commodity in the 1600s. Um, these ancient texts with the wisdom of the Greek era. So those stories from the flourishing of the Mediterranean culture and the Persian culture and the Asian culture, because of course the Mediterranean is at the heart of it. So that was the epitome of where all of our wisdom was. That had to go underground for a little while, and people had to till the soil but those inventions, those previous inventions of a flourishing were then maintained and then could be used to ignite the next one. So we may live through something like that. Okay, so past and the future. So I just would like to reiterate again that I think we have a bright future ahead. You can't deny what has occurred over these 4 days. This is significant. Hearts have been ignited. And but I'm going to reiterate this stuff about coming home to yourself and equanimity with the fact that we could be in the belly of the beast, but we know the big history story, and that's not it's a temporary catastrophe. It's not the end of the story, and we can walk with our heads held open-hearted, with our hearts open into this future. It's not, you know, humans were invented by the universe. How can they be how can they be a mistake? That's what I tell my middle schoolers at the end when they're all nervous and scared. It is what it is. Open-heartedness is the only way to get through it. So, and we also have to be skilled at difficult conversations. So I would encourage all of us to welcome the moment that you go, ah, I'm feeling attacked, I'm feeling dismissed, I'm feeling uh, any unpleasant moment. There's a word, welcome, because that will transform us if we go through it. So seek out difficult conversations. Recognize that when you're in one and you're feeling all those unpleasant feelings, this is part of the human condition, and this is what we're going to have to figure out how to do if we're going to become a multicellular organism. It's cell-to-cell communication, right? That's the thing that changed. How did the cells communicate with each other? And so open-hearted, vulnerable, willing to participate in difficult conversations, and we got this. So that is my conclusion of this planetary conversation. I think something fun is going to happen next. So thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.